There is someone who has been holding on to someone who God has told you and or has showed you to let go of. And I know it's not that simple. When you have invested your heart, your time, your memories, letting go doesn't feel like obedience. It feels like betrayal. But here's the hard truth. Some people were only meant to be chapters in your life and not the whole book. And if you keep rereading that same chapter, you will never discover the new story that God is trying to write with your life. Sometimes following Him means walking away from what's familiar, even if it hurts. You've noticed that every time you've tried to grow, they pulled you back down, but you stayed with them because you believed in them, because you saw their potential. I'm here to tell you that their potential will be the death of you. You thought love could fix it, that love could fix them. But God isn't asking you to fix people. He's asking you to follow Him. How long are you going to continue to shrink yourself to keep someone else comfortable? How long are you going to ignore the lack of peace just to avoid confrontation? How long are you going to delay your healing because you're afraid to be alone? In Amos 3:3, it says, "Can two walk together unless they are agreed?" You cannot walk in purpose with people who are walking in a different direction. And no amount of prayer will change that if they've already made their choice. Jesus didn't beg Judas to stay loyal. He washed his feet, he loved him, and then he let him go. God isn't asking you to hate them. He is asking you to release them and to release them in love. Release the need to be understood. Release the fantasy of what you thought the relationship could be. Release the guilt, the what ifs, and the fear of starting over. Because what God has for you on the other side of obedience is far greater than what you are losing on this side of comfort. I get it. They were your person, or so you thought. Maybe they're a friend who knew you inside and out. Someone who was there for you during your darkest night. Maybe someone that you imagined a future with. Maybe even family that you can't just cut off. But boundaries are biblical. Jesus loved everyone, but He didn't give everyone equal access. Peter, James, and John saw moments that the others didn't, because trust is earned and not assumed. And if you're constantly drained around someone, if you have to explain your worth to be valued, that's not love, that is survival. God didn't call you to survive. He called you to live, to walk in peace, to grow, to be surrounded by people who pull the best out of you, not to keep you trapped in cycles that you prayed to be freed from. So why is it so hard to let go? Because we confuse history with destiny. We think because someone was a part of our past that they automatically qualify for our future. But look at Abraham. When God called him, He told him to leave his country, to leave his people, to leave his father's household. He was telling him to leave the familiar because he was going to do something new. And when Abraham obeyed, the promise began. But do you know what delayed him? Lot. Abraham brought his nephew Lot with him. And from that point on, there was drama, conflict, and strife. And it wasn't until Abraham and Lot separated that God spoke again. Could it be that God has been silent because you're still clinging on to someone that He has asked you to release? Could it be your delay is connected to your disobedience? This is the truth you need to hear. Letting go doesn't mean you are heartless. It means that you are healed enough to stop needing what was breaking you. It means you trust God's voice more than your desire to be loved by someone who doesn't know how. But what if they change, you ask? Maybe they will. Maybe they won't. But your healing can't be on pause, waiting for someone else to get it. You move forward, you grow, and you let God deal with their heart while you protect your own. Isaiah 43:18-19. Forget the former things. Do not dwell on the past. I am doing a new thing now, it springs up. Do you not perceive it? That verse is not a suggestion, but a command. God is doing something new. But you will not see it if you are still mourning what He closed. So today, be brave, be strong enough to walk away from what is no longer serving your soul. Let go of them so that you can finally hold on to you again. Because the future God has for you is too big to carry around people who only want a version of you that is already gone. It's not bitterness, it's not pride, it's not you thinking that you're better than them. It is simply obedience. And obedience always leads to blessing. So let them go. It is time.